Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of Infinitode 2. So this is going to be an updated video on how to farm custom maps for loot. Now this is something that I recommend you to do only for late endless. So something that you can decide to do after you max loot frequency and loot rarity. Until that time, remember 6.3 is your best stage, and it's the best level really to farm loot and to very easily with very little resources. You're gonna just need splash, inferior, right, and that's it. So 6.3 is by far the best stage until that time. Now after, so once you max your frequency, loot rarity, you also upgrade and max speed as drop rate, you can decide if you want to continue on with 6.3, which is something that I personally did because I already had my splash to be a little bit stronger. I already upgraded like my mining speed modifier, my inferior mining speed, coin generation, starting coins, and so that's why I kept on playing on 6.3. But there is actually an even more efficient way. It's slightly more efficient, it's not something like game changing, but it's slightly more efficient to farm custom maps. You're gonna need though a different tower, because the best tower to farm custom maps is actually Tesla, especially if you want to use it alone. So you want to use just one single tower. You don't want to use a combination of towers, but just one. And Tesla, and especially the ultimate of Tesla, is really the thing that's gonna help you, and it's the most efficient way to farm custom maps. But for this kind of farming, you're gonna need a lot more of research. You're gonna need a lot more, especially of damage. So any research of Tesla, if you have like maxed, it definitely helps, especially the abilities here, having everything from the abilities to be as strong as possible. General stats, so for example, general damage right here, attack speed, starting coins, coin generation, this helps, range as well, upgrade price discount, then also the mining speed for Scalar in this case helps. Very important as well, the damage from the modifier and the damage from power, so still the modifier, right? And then as well the experience that the modifier gives. So these are all things that are going to be needed for this customer farming I'm going to show you right now, using only Tesla. Also the mining speed for the modifier helps. It might not be required to have it maxed, but definitely helps. And then just try to go for as much damage as possible, also from the start research. Yeah, that's the idea, is trying to do as much damage as possible. Another reason for that is because of the endless percentage difficulty. If you're playing on the highest difficulty and you play just 6.3, you can see that the portal is going to be at 2520 overall difficulty. See, instead on a custom map, if you place a portal from the amount that you get like as loot, and you place a 500% portal, that is the highest difficulty, your overall portal difficulty, if you combine it with the your endless difficulty, becomes 4500. See, so that's a lot more than 6.3, and that means that the loot becomes more rare, so the quality of the loot is better. It becomes like only legendary, or like it gets more legendary more quickly. But at the same time, that means that the enemies are a lot stronger. And that's why, as I said before, you're going to need to focus primarily on damage. You're going to need a damage style when you're going to play Tesla. You're going to need a no boss style as well. No bosses. Bosses are going to give you very low loot. So that's why you're going to just keep spawning enemies. Zeta core, going for the right side. And yeah, as many portals as you can with 500% difficulty. Now, there is only a downside on this strategy in using only Tesla. And that is the fact that you have to pick portals that do not contain both armored and fighters. So these two type of enemies right here. So the green square, so this is armored and this is fighter. So you have to really select portals that do not contain those two type of enemies, because those two enemies are immune to lightning, and so the Tesla cannot even damage them. That's pretty simple. Now, if you don't have portals at 500% difficulty, just go for 190%, right? 480, and just pick whatever highest difficulty possible that you have with a portal that do not contain those two type of enemies. And that's it. That's the only thing that you need to do. Now, in terms of portal choosing, the important thing is that it has damage, once again. just prioritize damage. If it has a bit of range as well, it's nice. The other stats are redundant, so they're not needed. Whatever stats you have that can somehow increase like your money, your experience multiplier, tower upgrade price, or whatever the stat, it's nice, but it's not needed. And yeah, just remember to place Scholar here because you're gonna keep giving experience to your Tesla so that it can level up faster. Here, some platforms for the mining speed modifiers, and that's it. So I'm gonna show you here an actual gameplay what you're gonna do. So first of all, you wanna just place your Tesla in the center, right? That's the first thing. And now, very important, you place a experience modifier. You place at least one Scholar, and then you place one modifier. That's the minimum. So using your coins, that's the minimum that you want to do. Then, with whatever amount of coins you have left, depending on how much research and you have, just place as many miners as you can. In this case, I'm going to be able to place also one more modifier. And yeah, so that's the beginning. Now, the very important thing that you still want to do is the fact that you want to still wait as much as possible to make your loot become more rare. So you don't want to click auto right from the beginning, but you want to let the timer run out. So in that way, you're stacking more time plate. Loot is becoming more rare, and at the same time, you're stacking your over loot because you're not actually defeating any enemies. And in that way, you're just minimizing the amount of loot with bad quality, right? And you're just maximizing the amount of loot you're going to have once you reach that threshold in which loot becomes only legendary. Now for me, because my loot rarity is higher than level 87, and that's why I recommend you to try to do this and use this cast map strategy only like if you have maxed loot frequency and loot rarity. You just need to wait until 3 minutes and 50 seconds. After that time, loot becomes only legendary. It's guaranteed. So what you have to do is pretty much let the timer run out, right, until 3 minutes and 50. So you just let the timer run out, right? You place more modifiers here. You try to give as much experience to your Tesla as possible to make it stronger, right? And therefore, by calling very little waves, you are minimizing the amount of loot. You are collecting, you're stacking your overall total loot. And yeah, that's what really makes a difference. Remember, 350 is the threshold if you have loot rarity past level 87. If you have your rarity lower and you want to try this strategy, you might need to wait more until the loot becomes only legendary, or it might never become only legendary if your loot rarity is very lowish. So yeah, that's just it. Now, once you defeat wave 5 and once your Tesla is max level, right, you can then sell all the modifiers because you don't need them anymore. Your Tesla is max level. And then just place more modifiers here, damage at the sides, and then power at the corners. And once again, you're trying to give as much damage as possible to your Tesla. And that's what you have to do. Then start upgrading it, right? Look at the timer, and at 350, you wanna just activate all the wave core. Here we go. And you can see my loot is only legendary. I'm gonna finish off upgrading my Tesla, and I'm gonna continue on with this right side of the data core. And especially this upgrade right here. The bonus power per tower level after level 10 is going to give me a ton of power. And so my overall damage is going to increase. So that's the idea. Remember, your ultimate from Tesla scales up from damage. So the more actual damage you have, the more damage the ability does. So that's why you don't want to care about like attack speed or other stats. You just care about damage. And here we go. Right, you can see that now my overall damage goes to 114,000. And now here, playing time. You want to play depending on the wave configuration, right, until like wave between 75 and 80. So ideally, you want to defeat the enemies before they even reach this turn. So if you see that you're struggling and it's taking longer for you to defeat those enemies, see for example this wave here, and also this next one, right, it's taking longer for me to defeat them, then you can even end the game sooner. But roughly it should be like between wave 75 and between wave 80 that you want to end the game. You can see here I got 7,500 bids, almost 7,600. Once again, the amount of bids obtain, it's RNG based. So sometimes you're going to be able to get more, like 7600, 7700. Sometimes it's going to be less, like 7200, even 7000. So yeah, just random. Then you end the game. And that's it. You collect your loot. And you can see that here, the duration, the actual duration, it's 2 minutes roughly and 10 seconds. But of course, because of the fact that you need to actually place things and do everything, the actual gameplay, it's like 2 minutes and 20 seconds, right? 2 minutes and 15, 2 minutes and 20. And then once you get your loot, right, you can just restart. You can just repeat this process as many times as you need. So again, remember Tesla, modifier, scalar, modifier, placing as many scalars, going for the extra mining speed first, then for the experience modifiers. Don't really care about like upgrading your Tesla that much, because at the beginning, like enemies, yes, they're tough, but they're not so tough. And once you place all the modifiers, you can start either like increasing Tesla, or you can place first the damage modifiers and then upgrade Tesla. It's up to you, really, what you prefer to do. For example, here, just like to level up my Tesla already, like upgrade it whenever I get enough coins. And once again, just take a look at the timer, right? If your loot rarity is past level 87, just you have 350 as your threshold. If your loot rarity is lower, you might need to wait more, or your loot rarity may never become like only legendary. And yeah, sometimes that happens. Selling here, right? Upgrading my Tesla, waiting 350. Although maxing it out, then placing the last modifiers, and here we go. So you can see that you can do everything without ever pausing the game. So yeah, that's just the idea. And at this stage, remember, you just need these last two upgrades, especially this one. It's gonna boost your damage by a lot. And wave survived, remember, between 75 and 80. In this case, for example, because I know already beforehand that both wave 79 and 80, it takes a lot me to destroy them, I can just end the game as soon as I defeat wave 78. So that's what I'm going to do in this case. So the overall gameplay is going to be slightly faster, right? And the amount of loot I'm going to be able to earn is going to just be almost identical, right? Because it's just 2 waves there, difference. Also this wave 72, it's pretty annoying. Well, it's the only wave, right, until wave 79. So yeah, here we go, 79, see, end the game. And overall gameplay, you can see 2 minutes and 7 in this case, because I ended a bit sooner, right? 2 minutes and 10 seconds, roughly 7.4 in this case, I think I got. So 7400 bid this. And yeah, again, that number is just random. So sometimes it's going to be more, sometimes it's going to be less. And that's how to do it. And if you actually calculate the efficiency, so without counting double gain, right? So 7300 bid this in 2 minutes and 7, and you try to calculate the bid this per second, this is actually more efficient than 6.3 because you have like around 54 bid this per second instead on 6.3. Even if you do it as efficiently as possible, your efficiency is like 51 per second, like 52 maximum per second, and that's it. So it's slightly higher. It's not really like game changing, as I said before. It's slightly more efficient, but yeah, it's something that you could use to just mix your gameplay up, right? If you're tired of doing 6.3 over and over, and you already have maxed a couple more upgrades, you have maxed your Tesla, you can try this and just try to change things up. And yeah, so that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see ya. Bye bye.